if the Seahawks miss the playoffs, which is possible, was this season a success? Simple question.
Okay.
What do you think? Not only that, but if yes or no, then you got to tell me why.
Do I gotta?
Just say yes. Next question. Stacy, what else you got?
Yes. No, I think it is a success. And the reason why I think it is a success, one, let's go back all the way to April when the draft goes down. Is it April or March? Whatever. Late March, early April. When it goes down, and it all started with the draft. You have, 7, 8 picks in the draft, and almost all of these guys make an appearance during the season on the 53-man roster. That's a plus right there. Mm-hmm. Then you get into the season, and you're looking at the cornerback position. You're like, look, man, DJ Reed is gone. Trey Brown isn't healthy. What exactly are we going to do in those positions? You have a fifth rounder who ends up taking a spot there, and then a guy who battled during the preseason, and Mike Jackson win that spot over there. Now you're looking at first game, Jamal Adams goes down. Goodness gracious, this defense was designed really for this man to be in the box and cause havoc. What happens? Ryan Neal steps up. He has a phenomenal year in that position, and then you have Quandre in the back doing his thing. Now you look at the offense. You got 2 rookie tackles. First time in 20 years you're going to start 2 rookie tackles and play the majority of the season. They do a decent job. You find a running back. He does a decent job. You got a quarterback battle that nobody wanted to see go down. You end up going with Geno. Everyone's asking for Drew, Baker, Jimmy, draft somebody.
I was asking for Baker.
I was asking for Baker too, and Jimmy. I flip-flop a couple times.
Yeah, you did.
And Geno steps up, has a Pro Bowl type of year. Now, you look at the team, its journey throughout this season, they've had good times, they've had bad times, but they put themselves in a position to possibly make the playoffs because of all the changes. And then I didn't even mention the coaching staff, new defensive coordinator, second-year offensive coordinator. You bring over Desai, Carl Scott. This defense looks completely different. Guys in new places. I didn't expect this team to be where they are today. I expected 6 to 8 wins, and I was leaning more towards 6, 7 wins, and now they're at 8, possible 9. It might not be a success in the eyes of the league, of people just looking at standings and the stats. But if you are a 12 and you follow this team and you support this team, you see the direction that they're going, and you could say this season they exceeded expectations. Whatever happens, to me personally, I think this year has been a success because not only are you pushing for the playoffs, you have guys in places that could be there for the next few years and be the foundation of this organization.
I don't know how you don't say it's a success. If you were, one of a few fans that thought this team was a true contender, then for you it's a disappointment. And you have to also include in that group the players. Players and coaches, for them, not making the playoffs. If they don't make the playoffs, that's failure, right? You have to be able to look at it and recognize progress and grow, but they enter the season thinking, we're going to make the playoffs, we're going to win a Super Bowl. That's how you have to think. And so for them, For me, from the outside, I'm with you. I thought this team would get 5 wins. I thought they'd be 6 max. I thought that they would be horrible. This defense had been 31st against the pass for 2 years in a row. They'd been steadily allowing more and more yards per season. They were pretty abysmal. They'd been in the bottom third of the league for a little while. The offense, I had no faith in Geno whatsoever. I thought that he'd be fine, serviceable. I didn't think he'd be a top 5 passer. I didn't think that I would so quickly be why wouldn't you pay Geno $30 million? You know what I mean? I didn't think he'd be a Pro Bowler, and I was proven wrong. A lot of people were proven wrong about Geno. But not only that, listen to all the things you just pointed. Defensive Rookie of the Year candidate. You're a couple yards shy of 1,000 yards for an Offensive Rookie of the Year candidate. Outside of that, you had some nice development for guys that you weren't necessarily expecting. I mean, Michael Jackson. Let's say you find another corner. You've got a really great depth piece then with Michael Jackson, right? Ryan Neal, I wish he was healthy because he had another good season. Jordan Brooks had a solid season. I wish he was healthy and back out there. You had an offense that, had your defense not been struggling for so long and giving up so many rushing yards, you'd be, I think, in the playoffs right now. You would have clinched a playoff spot because your offense was averaging 26 points per game. That was top 5 offense in the league. They were great. They started to struggle late, and the defense wasn't good enough to make up for it. I think if you want to kind of look at the other side and talk about what you're disappointed about, it's hard not to look at the rushing defense and say, God, you did all this stuff to try to fix it in the offseason, and you didn't. You just went from being bad at one thing to bad at another thing. That's all you ended up doing. But it feels like just peanuts compared to everything else that they've gained. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they've gained so much. And how about this? Look, consider it a bad thing if they end up with the number 5 overall pick. Like, that will be bad news. That is a worst case scenario. Number 5 overall, that's still the highest they will have chosen in years. They haven't picked in the top 3, which is still a possibility, since 1997. I mean, that's insane.
Yeah, with the direction of this team and what we expected, we knew there were going to be like some dark times, some spots where they needed to grow and fix. I think every team has that throughout the season, but with the position that this team was in prior to the season, you expected a lot of failures, which there were some failures. You also expected this defense to carry the offense, and it really went vice versa, right? Gino and these guys have carried the defense and kept them in this game. So just because they've been able to show improvement in places, even against the run, when they were getting gashed for $160, $170 every week, it seems like, and then you see them figure it out. With this team, that's all that I was looking for, at least going into the season, is just progress. I just want to see progression. If you're good at this, let's get better. If you're bad at this, let's make improvement there. And I think you can honestly say that you've seen that. Have you seen the consistency of the great football teams in this league? No, but we know that they're not a great football team at this point. I think they have great pieces to become a great football team eventually. So it all depends on your perspective. Whoever looked at the schedule, looked at this team prior to the season starting and said, playoff team, let's go, 10-11 wins.
Then I love that optimism.
Yeah, I love it. And you know what? To you, this season has been a failure, but for most people that I know, most football minds and analysts and hosts and just random folks that I know, we all thought, okay, this year is going to be a struggle. And have they had struggles? Yes, every team has struggles.
Yeah.
But I think that the struggles that we did see this year will help this team understand who they need to be going into this draft and what pieces they need to plug in for them to have the success that we're used to seeing over here.